Good morning, guys. It's the 26th of August 2021, and you can see we got rain. It was sunshiny, but here's our there. I'm gonna turn this on. That's full blast, okay? Full blast. And here we go again. You know, this is absolutely zero coming out of the upstairs, and there's off. That's it, on and off. Cold, hot, nothing. You see that? Not even a drip. Let's see what we get out of the faucet. There's the faucet. Oh, we got a little tiny bit coming out of the faucet there. This is how my wife fills up these buckets. This is how we're living right now. We have to fill up buckets in our brand new Demeterland house. So guys, whatever you do, question everything when you're going to get a house built by anybody or where it's going in. You want to look at everything around. And one of the things I wanted to touch on here, if you're going to come here, whenever this place ever opens up, is don't come in and just say, okay, I'm going to move into this area. Somebody sent me a thing from a YouTube vlogger. I've never seen him. I see he's got a lot of videos. He looks like a pretty decent guy. I watched his last video, how they're getting extorted by the MPA in his area, you know, for him to make donations and all this. And then he had said something on there about families' houses were getting burnt and all this kind of stuff. You know, so it doesn't matter where your sweetie comes from. You have to find a place that's going to be safe for you. You know, there's a lot of places I really liked here. Now I do remember down in Leyte, I loved it down there, and I was down there for short of 2 weeks. Our stay got cut by about 3 days, and all of a sudden they said, okay, we're leaving. And I thought we were leaving, you know, Friday. This was like Tuesday. And no, we're leaving right now. And they already had my stuff packed when I got up in the morning. And we didn't even go on the wait for the jeepney or anything, because it didn't run that much there. And they got me on one of these hobble motorcycles where they stretch them. They have these really cool motorcycles down there where they cut the frame, they stretch it, put a real long chain, and they make a real long seat on it so you can get a bunch of people. And they got a really nice wrap-around metal rack for everyone's feet and for carrying stuff. And we boogied out of there. We boogied all the way up to Tacloban. It took us about a half a day, and I had started driving, and then the dude, the brother-in-law of this girl I was down there with, said, here, let me drive. When we stopped, he said, let me drive now. And he was cooking. He was really cooking. And I'm like, oh, I wonder what the hell's going on here. But a good rider, good driver. I was very confident sitting right behind him. And of course the girl and her sister was on the back, and we were cooking. And this guy was really taking this Honda 150 and just running it. It was the old 155, I believe, with the pushrod motor. Great motor. That thing ran like a dream. Got me all the way up to Tacloban. Next thing you know, we're hightailing it out of there. And I didn't know what was going on, but here found out later, after I got back to the States, through the family, they had said, yeah, the MPA was coming for me. They were coming to, you know, going to get me do something. And this was at the time down in Mindanao where the Catholic priest had been kidnapped and then murdered. This was around that year. It was 2000 something. Can't remember. But when you come here, don't just come here and say, okay, I got a lot of money because I sold my house in the States and I got my pension and I got a balloon pension and all this stuff. Don't just buy right off the bat. You know, now what I did when I come here, I bought a real cheap place. It was $8,000, guys. You know, it was just a drop in the bucket. And we lived in that neighborhood, and it wasn't that great. That's why I didn't fix it up. But my wife knew the area. She lived there. And she was very concerned for my safety when I first got here, of different places we'd go and me going by myself and all that kind of stuff. But when you come here, just be real careful of where you decide you're going to settle. You know, I came to this area. I didn't think about the water I just was dumb that way. I didn't think about the power outages. I had asked about the power outages, and people said, no, there's no problem. But we've had a ton of power outages here, and some of them last in 12, 13 hours, and a lot of them that last a few hours, just constantly. That's just the way it goes. We will set up a generator because it's just aggravating. It's aggravating to be without power. But that's how we're gonna do it. A lot of people say, "Oh, put solar." Nah, that's a big super expense for me here. Like with my water, they say put a big tank where. Can't put it anywhere. I have people telling me to dig well. Can't do that. I'm on a little tiny lot here. I'm on a little 100 square meter lot, guys. There's nothing like that I can do. And I doubt the association would allow you to do anything that. Heck, just to get an awning out over the house, I got to go submit a drawing just like the neighbor did, and it has to be approved. Now those folks up there are very nice. I'm sure we can get just about anything approved. My wife was talking about a concrete, like a balcony that goes all the way around, but then they're going to have to chip in and tie in the rebar, and I'm not having them chip this out. I'll just throw a regular awning on, and I'd like to do the awning, make it strong enough that I can stand on it. So to clean the windows. The windows get pretty bad here, especially now with all the construction and the dust. I'm glad it's raining today. But move about the Philippines and get to know where you're going. I was down in Davao City. I loved it there, but my wife didn't. She didn't want to go there. I felt perfectly safe there. Was at the call center. I saw lots of young girls 2:30 in the morning walking around, not even worried, by themselves, not worried. You didn't hear of crime or anything down there. A lot of I don't know if they were cops or militaries, but they had like the gray battleship triangular camo on, and they would stand in these little cutouts in the walls like a dark spot, and there'd be a few of them in there, and you never saw them if you weren't looking for them. I mean, they just blended right in, and that was all over the place at night. So you don't go down in Duterte City and play, guys. You don't do that. Now his daughter's running the show, and I'm sure she's as tough as he is. Apple don't fall far from the tree. But just be careful where you're going. And also another thing too, be careful with the girls. I've known a couple guys that, they just start trusting that all these girls are good that they meet online and stuff like that. I met my wife online, but take your time, get to know them. I had a service that I used, and as soon as the first second they asked for money, click, they were deleted immediately. That was just one of my things, and I kept talking, going back and forth about what I wanted out of this life, and to make sure that it's good. I hate to see a lot of these older guys, and they get with a young Filipina, and they just marry them all and don't want kids, and that's not fair to the Filipino guys. It's just not fair to her. You need to talk about what you want. Now, some Filipinos will say, oh, they don't want kids either, just because you're marrying a foreigner and having money and not worrying about that. But it's not fair, guys. Read your mind a little bit, because this is a very family-oriented country. They tend to have pretty good-sized families. People say, oh, if you're poor, you shouldn't have families. Baloney. That's the biggest pile of baloney. Your kids here are your greatest asset. They're your retirement in this country. Just know that. And you come here, you're an older guy, you marry a much younger woman, and then you croak. What's she going to do? If you don't leave her well off or with children. So I wouldn't dream of doing something like that. My wife and I talked about it. She wanted kids. I wanted kids. We have 3 babies. We would have had more, but they were all C-section, and it was just too much on her. Doctor did say she probably could have had one more, but we were worried about her health. And we agreed that 3 was good. 3 was just going to be fine. And they're beautiful babies. We love them to death. We got Mama's out. She's doing a little bit of shopping today. We got a big day tomorrow. It's going to be Dorothy's birthday, so we got a little party planned for her. But I was going to get my shower because I got to go pick up Mama pretty soon. But that's out unless I want to go outside and take my shower. I wished I would have set it up. I'll probably set up the garden hose outside, like the neighbor. The neighbor over here, that's what he does. He don't have any water pressure either. He's in the same boat as us, nothing upstairs. And he's got his garden hose set up for a shower outside. And that looks like what I'm going to have to do, because we do get some pressure downstairs. I did the filter, was due for a filter change. I had a little bit of pressure in the downstairs sink, but not normal, much lower. And then this little tiny bit here, and absolutely nothing in the shower head. So look into all this stuff when you're coming here. Don't just come here and just blast your way right in, because you might regret some of the choices you made. Take your time. Take your time. We're here until we're gone. Retired guys now, no hurry, especially when you're driving. Don't get, me, I'm just not getting in a hurry anymore. My wife sometimes think I'm mad when I'm driving, but I talk when I'm driving. I'm like, yeah, get out of the way. I even got my little Geronimo. He gets in there, out the way. But it's just my way of coping with this traffic without being stressed with it. And she's getting to the point where she understands now that I'm not mad at those people. It's just the way it is here. It's the way it is when you drive. So take your time. I still recommend, if you come here, it's so cheap for transportation. I know it's not like America where everybody's got a car and you jump in and go, but you can get by without it. Look at Tropical Tim. He's been here for a couple years. They don't have a car. They go and do what they please. And you can. The transportation is so cheap, and you're going to find out a car will be expensive for you. Our car was $748,000. I think we paid for that, and then insurance. Yearly, and then the gas, and then the license and all that kind of stuff. And personally myself, if I'd had to do it all over again, I would have not bought the car. I would have just kept a tricycle, or one of these trailer ones for our local hops and shopping and all that, and just said, forget the car. Don't need it. We have it now. It's a Honda. It has a recall on the fuel pump. They called me, and they want me to take it all the way back to Carmona instead of going to the one here. She said she was going to get me set up in papers, but I don't know what's going on about getting over there with the cops and stuff. We'll find out tomorrow, because some people will be coming, and we'll see what's going on. I'm not sure what's really going to go on with that, but. Nice rainy day. It's real slick and muddy out front. Just walking on the concrete with all the mud right now. They always tell you when you're buying a home, always try to be the last one the builder builds. But we're one of the first ones, so it's going to be a muddy mess. That's all there is to it. And they're going to have 3-4 starts coming up. I see the guy with the big backhoe. He's digging pylons in a bunch of different areas now. And we did see people coming out with the tarpaulin like we did. They bring you out and they take a picture in front of the tarpaulin for their sales thing. But I have been letting the people know. I think squeaky wheel gets the grease. The more people say something about the water, the more something might be done. I did see in front of this place, they put in a huge, it looked like a 12-inch line, and it's a water line. That they put in. They were rolling it out, and they've been working on this thing pretty much since we've been here. I hope that there's a city water. That's what happened to us in GMA with the water we had. They had the San Juan Jeco water. I can't pronounce how they say that, where you had to buy into it, and then you're like a shareholder. And they didn't give us water. A couple hours a day, sometimes 3-4 days, no water. And then when GMA water was coming through, we bought it. And another thing to think about too, and this is what I did, when they're putting the water line in, we were the third, the third place. Well, there was a little eatery place, and that used water. And then there was a lady's house, and then another lady's house, and then our house on the corner. And the people across the street, there was 1, 2, 3 up to us, and somebody was putting their line in, so the people said, hey, can we tap into your line? They said, yeah, sure. So, they all split the price of getting it in there. Well, their water pressure was horrible. So when we put ours in, everybody's saying, oh, we want to tap into your line. We want to tap into your line. No. Absolutely not. There's going to be no tapping into my line at all. And we had fantastic water pressure over there. We didn't run it completely into the house because, like I said before, I didn't want to fix that up because my wife would have wanted to fix it up and just stay there, and I was ready to go. I was definitely ready to go. There was actually a place across the way that was for rent and for sale also for like $1 million. That nice outside and absolutely fantastic inside. A German did it, but then again, no parking. You know, now here down the road, as a lot of people get here, I'm wondering about what's going to happen with the parking. You know, second thoughts. I wished I'd have been down the street on the end where there were no houses on the other side. You know, so that would have been a good thing. Be careful when you're buying your house the way you aim it. You know, look where the sun is. You know, you want to make sure your house is well protected. We have the firewall over here, which is a much thicker wall than everywhere else, and that gets the brunt of the sun, and then the back of the house. I didn't want any of the sun coming in the front windows. I look at these houses over on this line over here from us, and they're going to have to dungeon that house up because the sun's going to be blasting them in the front of that house all day with them big windows. And so, you know, that's something that you should definitely watch out for when you come here too, if you're gonna build. But don't be in a hurry to pick a spot. You know, find out where you want to go. Some people like to go where there's a lot of foreigners. I'm okay with it somewhat. I know when I was in Carmona there was a lot of foreigners, but the time I was there, I actually met two people I talked to more than once. One guy I didn't want to. He was just a doper troublemaker from Jersey. And then the other guy was an older fella with his Filipino wife. Very nice fella. Big guy, kind of like Wes. And I don't remember his name right now. Dang it. I'm usually pretty good on names. But his wife was Joan. And very, very nice people. Lived not too far from me. Nice to talk to and all that kind of stuff. But in general, you know, it's nice to talk to some foreigners because my Filipino language is not so good. And it's nice to have somebody with conversation. We'll have a party over here tomorrow, and again, I'll probably only be able to talk to the kids. You know, that's just how it's going to be. It happened that way when I was in the States with the Filipino parties, and it happens here. They're going to speak their own language when they're in a group together, and they're not going to talk to you other than "Why are you so sad?" or something like that to just put you in a worse mood. You know, but I got the kids to talk to. And just remember, this is a lonely one. I highly recommend, if you're planning on coming here and you've got a retirement coming, start learning the language now. You know, get to it right now. Learn the language so you know what the heck's going on and you can talk to these people. Me, for some reason, I don't know what's the matter in my head with learning the language. I just don't. I don't know why. I can learn a word and then just forget it almost immediately. It's just the weirdest thing that's happening in my mind. I got a quirky brain, I guess. I don't know, but I can pick up the conversation. My speech on it. I was doing things where I write it down the way I sound it out, the way I write it. You know, like what is that? Emus. Okay, I don't write it I-M-U-S. I write E-M-O-S. Okay, so I know how to say it. And my wife would scribble that. That's not how you do it. Well, I don't want to write anyone a letter. You know, I'm not going to be writing a letter. You know, I want to speak it, and I want to write it down the way I speak it. So that was no big help there with my wife. She's not a teacher. It's just not her bag. That's no big deal. But I was going to the tutor, and I picked up a heck of a lot with her. You know, a lot more than I had before. But you know, just get it. I'll eventually pick up more and more. But do yourself a favor and do learn that. Tagalog's the best one, unless you're planning on living down in an area where your wife's from and they have Cebuano or Iloilo or whatever the different languages are. You might want to do that and keep working with your sweetheart if they're there in the States with you. I talked to one fella here. He's been with his wife for 20 years. He's going to retire next year. He's taken his pension and his Social Security, and they're moving here, and their kids are going to stay in the States. And he already has Tagalog down. He's got it because he learned with his kids. His kids are, I believe he said, 18 and 20, and they're going to stay. They got really good jobs. They didn't. I don't know if they went to college or what. Being that young, I wouldn't think so. But he said they both got really good jobs, California, and hopefully it all works out for them. But I don't know what happens when you come here with these jabs and all this stuff. You have to find out from some people coming here. I do know that when Ray came from Tropical Tim and Ray, that she got him, but nobody asked her to see anything on him. So, if you can get by without them, great. They're going to make you do the quarantine whether you got them anywhere or not. So, and now you're starting to see things, news feeds around the world where a lot of people are just got such a viral load in them from after getting jabs that they're spreading and they're getting sick. And I have that thing, the COVID-19 injuries or whatever. Start look it up online. It's in some of the. I'll see if I can put it in the description again, so you can look at this. I got another site too. I'll put the description in, and just start scrolling through it. I got it on my Telegraph feed now, and it's constantly sending them through the day, and I'm starting to see a lot more and more of young people dying. The one fella, he was a Vaxxer Maximus, some kind of reggae guy. You can see it on the site, and he was real big on getting it, and then not too long after he got his second jab, blood clot, heart failure, gone. So they know it's causing this. The one good thing about the FDA, it's an emergency approval, guys. It's not really an approval till 2024, but it's an emergency approval for the phaser, like on Star Trek. And guess what? That one, they're gonna have to show you the ingredients now. If they approved it, they got to put the ingredients out so you can read what's in this. There was one thing I put on Facebook where the guy, he did get an ingredient sheet, and he called Poison Control, and he got with some fella down there who'd been there. They asked for a manager. He wrote his story in there. I put it on Facebook. You might have to scroll down a little bit, but this guy said, "Oh no, you give that to your children. They'll come take your children away." And then he told him, "Hey, this is what's in the vax." And the guy was just shocked. The Poison Control guy was just shocked. You kidding me? That's what's in there? And he went ahead and took a picture on his phone and sent it to the guy. The guy said, "Could you send this to me?" And he did. He did a detailed thing on his phone, and he sent it to the guy, and the guy just couldn't believe it. And he was one of these guys that was all for it. Even his kids went and got it. He hadn't gotten his yet though. But I don't know. I'm just not a gambler, guys. That's just my nature. I am absolutely 100% not a gambler. I just don't want to do it. The odds aren't in your favor when you're gambling. House always wins, guys, and that's my nature. And for somebody to say you have to take one of these and get in all this peer pressure, I remember the peer pressure was not to take drugs. But these doctors, they legalize them, and then it's okay. It's just like murder's legal in the United States. Murder is 100% legal. You don't believe me? Go down to any Planned Parenthood there is, guys. So as long as you got your license, you can murder. As long as you got your license, you can deal dope. Okay? And you don't think these doctors are getting a lot of money for dishing out this stuff? Look how many people are on Lipitor, And since they've started all this stuff, Alzheimer's going through the roof. You got people that have more heart trouble. They've got more trouble. Your liver makes cholesterol. You need it for your brain to function. You need it for all your bodily functions. I remember when my dad, when they were first doing the cholesterol thing, and his cholesterol was this ridiculous number, and he's like, and they wanted to put him on stuff right away. No. He was like, no, I don't trust any of that stuff. I'm not taking any of it. And he lived a pretty good long time, and his heart, no problem with his heart at all. So be careful with all this stuff. Look into it. You get a lot of people. I know my one friend went into the hospital. I met him when I was going through my back problem, and they said, oh, they did a surgery on me. I listened to a bunch of different doctors. I went to a lot of different places. He went to the first guy that was in this clinic where we were going, and the guy said, oh, you know what, we're gonna squirt a papaya enzyme right into the spot where the bone is, and it's going to dissolve that bone away, and you're going to be just fine. And I think it was about a month later, we were going to his funeral. The enzyme got loose in his body and attacked his liver, and just basically put him on they said when we went to visit him in the hospital, he was in congenital heart failure. 34-year-old guy that was healthy guy. I was over at his place a couple times. He was into hunting and fishing. They ate good. They weren't very wealthy. He had a quad runner and an old truck, and his wife had this little old beat up car. They lived in a trailer, but I got to be pretty good friends with him. Didn't live too far from me, 7 or 8 miles away, and the guy was in good shape. And they didn't eat garbage. Him and his wife. They were into this real healthy eating. They didn't want to eat garbage. They ate a lot of vegetables. So it shouldn't have happened, guys. But the pusher, most pushers, when they push it and they know that this pusher sold this drug to somebody and they died, they hit them up on murder, or at least manslaughter or something. But not if you got a license, guys. Got a license, you're okay. License, 00. I guess they're all 007s. They're all 00s. I won't say MD anymore. It's going to be 00. That's exactly what most of those guys are. So I'm going to go ahead and let you go. It's running on long a little bit. Don't forget to pray for each other. Take care of each other. And, don't look for everybody's faults. Look away from everybody else's faults. All of us got to come together now, guys. We just have to, because there's a force array against us that it's just getting bigger and bigger every day. And people who got your head in the sand, you need to pull it out. Smell that coffee I talk about, okay? Wake up and smell the coffee. So this is Rick Shaw.